Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Leigh Gilmore. I'm the global head of Bloomberg Live, and it's a real pleasure to be here with you this morning. This conversation precedes a panel on the economic success of Poland, but our focus with President Duda this morning is to talk about leadership, specifically leadership in transition, how choices made over time shape economic direction, resilience, trust. And in particular, we're interested in how leaders think when they're building something, not just for now, but that they have to hand forward. I'm very pleased to be joined by former President Andrzej Duda, did I pronounce it correctly, Excellency, who served 2 terms as president in Poland during a decade of rapid domestic growth and extraordinary global disruption. Mr. President, thank you for being here. And that is our scene setting. Over the past 30 years, Poland has become one of the world's top 20 economies. Much of the credit is often given to EU accession, market reforms, attractiveness to foreign investment, to you. When you strip all that away, what are the unappreciated or overlooked decisions, moments that mattered, that don't always get attention?
Good afternoon. And afternoon? No, not yet. So
Almost.
good morning. Good morning. Firstly, thank you very much for the invitation and this unique possibility to sit here and participate in this panel, in this discussion. And but especially, I would like to thank President Aleksander Kwaśniewski for his kind words. And it's wonderful that you members of the audience have this unique opportunity today to listen the story of the Polish transitions since the beginning of the 90s, since 1989. The very interesting remarks of President Kwaśniewski and the story of I can absolutely say Polish success in the 90s, because the end of the 90s was symbolized for me in a Polish membership in NATO. We joined NATO in 1999, and after that, at the beginning of the 21st century, we joined the European Union, as President said a moment ago. In 2004, and these are the greatest achievements of President Aleksander Kwaśniewski as one of the Polish leaders during this 10 years between 1995 and 2005. So these 2 turning points in our history: membership in NATO and membership in European Union. That was the fundament of the creating of the building of new Poland. Poland you can see now, and so my 10 years in presidential office, in the presidential palace in Warsaw, it was some kind of the continuation of the mission of president of the previous president of Poland, Aleksander Kwaśniewski. And you know, I had this absolutely unique opportunity to be the member of the cabinet of the crew of late president of Poland, Lech Kaczyński. I was Undersecretary of State at his chancellery. I was his lawyer, as he said. Someday I'm really proud of it, that he called me his lawyer, because, you know, probably he was a professor of the law sciences. So being the lawyer of the professor of law, it's a great honor, and especially the lawyer of the president of the country. So that was my unique own experience to be next to him for more than 2 years. And I will never forget what he said to me, Andrzej. You know what was very important for me, that at the beginning of my presidency, I had a long meeting with then President Aleksander Kwaśniewski, and we talked about foreign policy. We talked about the main directions in the foreign policy. He explained to me why he chose that way towards Ukraine, and how it was during the process of the joining of the European Union and NATO, etc., etc. So that was the very important element of that continuation. President Kwaśniewski said a few minutes ago. Yes, that for me that was the example that despite of the differences that they were both from another political environments. President Kwaśniewski from the more left side of the Polish political stage, President Kaczyński from this more right side of Polish, or you can say conservative part of Polish political stage. They could sit together, they could talk, and they could create this atmosphere, very important atmosphere, according to our constitution, where the mission of the president, one of the most important responsibilities of the president is protecting the continuation of the power in Poland. Yes, so president is responsible for this so-called continuation. Yes, in many aspects of our political reality. So according to the constitution. So that was the very good example, and that was also very important for me. And so that was one of the elements I had in my mind when I became the president of Poland. And after 10 years, we have now new president of Poland, Karol Nawrocki. Of course, I supported him during the presidential campaign, but after the presidential campaign, when the result of the elections was officially announced, we sit together and I talked with him about my service in presidential palace, about my foreign policy, etc., etc. So this is very important because, in my opinion, this is civilized rule in politics. So thank you very much, Mr. President, for your kind words. And
so you see the presidency as a stewardship, passing from one to the other. Each person plays a role, but must transition in a clear and civilized manner to the next president.
Yes, it's in my opinion, it's one of the crucial elements. Yes, this continuation. In a state, this is the responsibility. If you are elected in a general elections, yes, as a president of the country, I think that this is something people are waiting for. Yes, when you are elected, that you will be responsible president, that you will continue these most important elements of the way they know and they recognize as a good directions. Yes, so this is one. But we talked here about our economy and the situation in our economy. You know, one of the most important challenges for me was the presidential campaign in 2015. I had a lot of meetings with potential voters. Yes, with Polish people. That was more than 250 meetings during my meetings during the presidential campaign, and one of the requirements people repeated in practically every meeting was, "Sir, do something for our children to return to Poland, because they are abroad now, because of lack of the opportunities and lack of possibilities in our country to find a job, to create to create new entrepreneurs and lack of chances for the development, for the personal development. Yes. So when I met experts, because I'm not an economist, but when I met experts during the presidential campaign, I had a lot of meetings with experts, and I asked them what we can do to increase in a very fast way, yes, the average standard of living in Poland. So this is that was the most important question, yes, because we had huge disparities in Poland between regions, for example. So big cities were much more developed than, for example, villages and small towns, yes, and also in our society, big families were in much worse situation than small families or single people. And so my question was, what can we do? Because we have free market in Poland, and it's not a rule and the right of the authorities to increase salaries. Yes, this is not the decision of the
public sector.
Of the public. Of the authorities of the country. This is it has to be the result of the process. Yes, of course we as the authorities could create the process. Yes, but this is process. This is not the decision. This is not the one decision. Yes, this is the process. So what to do was my question.
And what did they
to
say?
Increase the salaries? So they say, Mr. President, we have to give money to the families. We have to give money from the budget to the families, because it would be the only possible way to
Is it to elevate one generation
to elevate the average standard of living in a very fast way. So, and we decided for this very famous social program, 500 plus, yes, now 800 plus. So 500 złotych a month for every child in a family, and then suddenly huge amount of money from the budget, state budget, was sent to the families. And there was a group of Polish economists, very wise people, who told me, Mr. President, there will be no positive result. It's very risky, but there will be no positive result. But I said to them, I don't believe that this family spent this money abroad.
On shoes.
No. They will spend this money in Poland, and they will probably spend this money immediately, because they don't have money. So if they receive this money, they will spend this money immediately for the very simple needs and most important needs. So the money will come back to our economy. The money will come back to our entrepreneurs. Money will support them to build their entrepreneurships, yes, their business enterprises, yes, and Polish companies, and that will be result finally we would like to achieve, yes, and I was right. I'm absolutely sure that one of the reasons of this observed boosting of the Polish economy after 2015, yes, was this money sent directly from the state budget to the families and to the Polish and to the Polish economy.
Thank you. You also led Poland beyond standing on the shoulders of greatness, which you've talked about, and this social program that you instigated. You also led Poland through a series of global shocks: the pandemic, inflation, the start of the war in Ukraine, This is just to name a few. Can you think of a decision or more against that specific backdrop? This was really in your time where you had to take leadership decisions which you think, more than other decisions, will echo down the years, long after you have left office.
No, I will never forget the moment when then Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki visited me in presidential palace during the pandemic, and he said to me, Mr. President, we have to do something to save jobs in Poland. This is in our country. This is now the most important and the critical task. This is the critical task, because saving jobs means also saving companies and entrepreneurships, so we have to give them money directly from the budget. I said, what? He said to me, yes. He said to me, you know, Mr. President, this is the terrible risk, but we have to do that. We have to give them money to their hands. We have to give money to the hands of our entrepreneurs directly.
Loans or gifts?
Gifts. We were, I remember, I will never forget, we were talking about gifts. Yeah. And he said, and we need, so I asked him, I will never forget that, but I asked him, how much? How much we need? He said, 1 billion zloty a day. I said, what? He said to me, 1 billion zloty a day. I said, it's impossible. He said, yes, it's possible. He was very experienced bank CEO, so he had a great experience at the financial market. Yes, and he said to me, yes, it's real. I know the instrument we can use to do that. I said, Mateusz, you know, I'm not economist, and it's hard to imagine this amount of money. Yes, 1 billion zloty. He said, yes, we can spend 1 billion zloty a day, and we will save the jobs in Poland, and then in the result we will save our economy and our companies and entrepreneurs. And he did it, and he succeeded. Of course, there are many accusations also against him in Poland, discussing that period of time. That was very difficult decision. I remember this very well, but he succeeded, and this is his greatest achievement. That we saved those jobs, that we saved our economy in that very, very, very difficult moment. But what is the most important and the most interesting? We also saved our development, because that was the miracle. That this of course the increase of our GDP was much lower that time than it was before and than it is now, but was not minus, was all the time plus. Yes, so that was the great achievement and the miracle. Of course, the result was inflation. Thanks to the president of our central bank, of our national bank, thanks to the special counsel we have in Poland responsible for the problem of the financial policy. We stopped this inflation now, and the situation is I can say fully under control. But that was the only negative result of this tremendous and very, very brave decision.
So you were obviously a president who believed in calculated risks, listening to experts, and leadership is obviously a game of balance. I wanted to ask you, there can be no question this week in Davos, no interview that doesn't mention President Trump. And I know that you know President Trump well. And I'm interested, I think perhaps you could tell us, how is it that people sometimes misinterpret or misunderstand some of President Trump's vocalizations or possibly actions?
You know, I always try to explain that to my interlocutors, is that please remember that President Trump is not a politician. He is, of course, formally he is a politician because he is the president of the United States now, yes, and he was the president of the United States in his first term. But in general, he's not a politician. He's a businessman. He's and he's also absolutely unique and special person. It's obvious. Yes, but if you look at his way of life and the story of his life, yes, and all the achievements he gained, but if we talk about his
ambitions?
His behaviors, yes. Remember that he is a businessman and very tough person, and he is a winner from his nature, yes, or in his nature. So his language. This is not a language of the political correctness, and it will never be. Because, sorry, but he is. He's still young, of course. but he was a businessman for a too long time to change himself and to create a new language, new kind of the rhetoric. Yes. So this is the rhetoric of the very tough businessman, very brutal sometimes, and I can understand that this is very difficult for especially European politicians, because in Europe we have this common language of the political correctness, frankly speaking, but Donald Trump is absolutely out of that, and he is not in this stream. he uses the language which is. You can see that absolutely unacceptable for most of the politicians, especially European politicians. But if you ask me about this discussion around Greenland, etc., in my opinion, this is still the process of negotiations. Very tough, very difficult, very harsh, but the process of negotiation.
So it's your point of view that President Trump is playing the most expansive game of chicken. I don't know if you know this expression in Poland, when one car drives towards the other car and the chicken is the one who swerves. But if you don't swerve, you win.
Yes. Yeah. It's a good comparison, in my opinion. Yes. This is something like that. Yes. Who will be tougher? Who will be stronger? Who will be? Who will? Yeah. So the winner have to be the strongest person.
I have one more question. I think we have time for one more question. When there is leadership in transition, there are leaders in transition. And I just wanted to give you the last word, Excellency. What is your transition? What are your next steps? What are you looking forward to, apart from skiing? I know you're looking forward to some skiing. But what else? What are you doing next?
I have no plan to participate in the Winter Olympics in 2 weeks. This is not true. If you've heard something like that, I'm a pensioner. Oh, no, you Thank you very much for that protest, Mr. President. Yes, you know, our former president Aleksander Kwaśniewski is a very good example, and it's a very interesting, and I think the most efficient way of dealing after the presidency in Poland, to have your own office as a former president. This is one element, and the second is a foundation, some kind of think tank, and this is and it works together. Yes, because these two institutions should work together, and I'm trying, and I hope I will succeed. This kind of the solution for my activities in the future. Now I'm a little bit involved also, you can say, in business issues, because I'm a member of the Supreme Board of the supervisor board of the Zen company. This is Polish fintech, very ambitious and quite strong now, and I hope that we will see the fast and very beautiful development of that company in next years, in the future. So I'm trying to support them, and this is one of my activities now, and I also. And I'm also starting, I can say starting, because it's now, really now, my cooperation with Heritage Foundation in the United States. I will be their visiting fellow and the expert of the foundation in the next 12 months. So that's my plan for the
So not much skiing not much skiing for a while. Thank you all.
There is no time for skiing.
Thank you all so much for your attention, and thank you, Mr. President, for your time.